When you think about your favorite book or your favorite movie, odds are the reason that it's your favorite is because of the characters that are involved. Now, in my view, characters are the most important part of a story because the characters are the main thing that is going to be driving the plot. They're the main thing that's going to be moving the story forward. They are the main thing that we're going to physically follow, and they're the thing that we tend to relate to the most. So when it comes to characters, developing characters well is extremely helpful for making a story go well. Now, when talking about characters, a lot of people are going to be using one of two terms. They're either going to say that the character is well-rounded, or they're going to say that the character is flat. When you're looking at those two terms, well-rounded basically just means that the character feels like a full person, whereas a flat character, just kind of think of it in terms of two dimensions, in terms of like a comic book. If all that the character is just something that we physically see, but there's not much beyond them other than what you see on the surface, that's considered a flat or one-dimensional character. So when you're writing characters, the best characters are going to be the ones that are going to be the well-rounded ones. They're the ones that the people are going to like the most, they're the ones that the people are going to care about the most, and they're the ones that are going to make your story memorable. Also, just as a heads up, I do feel that I need to add that this one video is not going to be the one to help design characters completely. I'm literally doing an entire series on it. So naturally, you're not going to need to do a full paragraph for every one of these points, but my thought is if there's something that you think about, they'll help bring out some area that maybe you weren't thinking of before and might help to make your character and story just that little bit better. So naturally, one of the first questions that comes to mind about your character is, what is your main character's name? Now, with this though, I also want to ask the question of how did your character get their name and how did you come up with your character's name? See, the reason that I ask this is because a character's name is extremely important. Throughout history, lots of folklore have stories about if someone can know your real name, then they can basically control you. Names are powerful. Well, the thing when it comes to a fantasy story is oftentimes the names are going to be generational. You're going to have a name that is going to be similar to like the parents. So take Aragorn, son of Arathorn. Then you're going to have stuff like Boromir and Faramir. They're both the sons of Denethor. So when it comes to names, oftentimes there's going to be patterns, there's going to be kind of rules that people follow along with getting there. Well, with that note, how did you come up with your characters' names? One thing that I like to do is I love to go into Google Translate and I love to see what a name means, like get a word and then put that into Translate, and then I'll see what that comes out to be in other languages, and then I build my names off of that, so that way it's got some more meaning to me. Then we get into their physical appearance. So what is their hair color? What's their eye color? That's all pretty standard. However, if you think about history, if you think about how genealogies work, traits are passed down from one kid to their next generation. And when it comes to like culture groups, so take Scandinavian, for example, blonde hair is very common with them. So when you look at how your character has their appearance, think about where they got those traits from. I know we might be potentially building a little bit too much into genealogies here, but at the same time, if you think about, well, this character, he came from these parents and these parents came from this place, well, that's going to shape some of their history. So a lot of what you're doing in figuring out these little details is you're coming up with that history going on with there. But on the note of hair, this is an interesting one because another thing to think about is how does your character style their hair? Do they keep it long and shaggy, or do they have it short and trimmed? Do they keep it like in a ponytail? Do they keep it in curls? Do they keep it, just buzzed completely off? How does your character wear their hair? That tells a lot about how their personality goes. So think about those kind of details when you're shaping your character and their personality. Another really important thing when it comes to characters, what is something that is unique about them? What is a defining characteristic of them? Do they have a abnormally large neck? Do they have a birthmark? Do they have one eye because they got it cut off for some reason? Are they overweight? Are they thin? Are they tall? Are they short? Are they exceptionally tall? Think about that. Are they taller than most people around them? That's something distinctive. In the same way, are they considerably shorter than people around them? What about them makes them unique? And if you think about giving your characters some unique defining trait like that, that's going to help the audience, the readers, when they're envisioning your character, be able to pick them out specifically. Oh, and here's a really fun one. How does your character smile? If you think about it, everyone has a very unique smile. Some people have a very big, bold smile. Some people, it's a lot thinner. Sometimes their smile is really small and very shy-like. Other times, people are gonna have almost a crafty kind of smile. It's like they're constantly planning something, they're scheming something. How does your character smile either around other people, by themselves, around strangers, around friends? Think about those little details. Now, like I said, these are basically the surface details. These are the physical traits. These are the things that a reader, when they read the description of, they see, oh, this is the character. And unfortunately, a lot of writers stop at this point. A lot of writers will just give you a physical description and then hope that that's good enough for you. But I would highly, highly encourage you to continue on with the rest of this, because we're going to be diving into what really makes a character, and turn them into people that you generally care about.